Eşref Rashidagic, thanks for being with us. You teach international relations at the University of Sarajevo. As we've seen in our report, it seems Turkey is meddling with Bosnia's internal affairs, especially when it comes to supporting pro-Erdogan groups. What's your take on this?
Since the Gulen and AKP have fallen apart in Turkey, Turkey has been hell-bent on destroying the whole structure, which is going against the interests of Bosnia Herzegovina, against the interests of Bosniaks, if you want to, because there are excellent education institutions that are educating local kids and providing a lot of job opportunities in the local academic market, which is really tight. So what about the interests of Bosnia?
There are long historical ties between Bosnia and the Balkans and Turkey, the Ottoman Empire, obviously. They have no other interest in the region?
The Balkans, in this regard, are basically the victims of their own past, in a sense, if you want to take it this way. I mean, Turkey can claim that, as we have heard several times from the leading Turkish politicians, including Erdogan himself, that, okay, we are back and we are here without, necessarily anyone expecting them to be back or anything. And, when it comes to this particular country, I would say that Turkish financial, economic and other ties are much stronger, let's say, than with Serbia. Some other countries here than Bosnia, which is often presumed to be the case, but that is not.
Let's turn to Arab Gulf states. We know that they're investing in the service sector, that they're funding mosques and religious classes. We know also there are tourists coming from the Gulf. Do you think their own brand of conservative Islam compared to the Islam practice here is gaining some followers here in Bosnia?
Even though a number of Gulf Arab countries have constructed mosques or contributed towards construction of mosques in Bosnia and Herzegovina, none of them have appointed a single imam. There's all Bosnian imams paid for by the Islamic community in Bosnia and Herzegovina, including the Saudi-funded mosque, very famous one that in Sarajevo, King Fahd. It's a building owned by and run by the Islamic community of Bosnia and Herzegovina as a local Bosnian imam. No Saudi imam has ever preached there, so that's an important distinction to bear in mind when it comes to the role of Arab countries in, building mosques in Bosnia and Herzegovina. They don't run them, they don't own them.
How about radical Islamic groups? They first flourished here in the 90s during the war, and again when ISIS happened in the Middle East. Is there any evidence that Arab states or groups are financing those radical groups here on the ground?
If there's approximately 2 million Bosniaks, which are nominally Muslims, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and 20 years of involvement of whatever you might say, what kind of external sponsors, and we see that the numbers of the radicalized youth here run into low thousands, then we'll say that's not much to show for all the supposed effort to radicalize Bosnian Muslims. What I'm saying is if Bosnian Muslims haven't actually turned into a violent radical Islamists during the war, immediately after the war, I don't really see a perspective for them turning into radical Muslims right now.
Well, thank you very much. Let me now go find my other guest to talk about the prospect of EU membership for Bosnia.